Fate of St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery is now in the hands of a judge. The trial on whether to permanently remove Montgomery wrapped up earlier today. First Alert 4 investigator David Amilati reports on the final day in court.
Closing arguments in this trial to remove Alfred Montgomery as the City of St. Louis Sheriff permanently wrapped in under 2 hours. Both sides confident where their argument stands with the judge. Remember, the Attorney General, there are 6 counts. Their burden of proof is preponderance, not beyond unreasonable doubt. Sheriff Alfred Montgomery walks into court Tuesday for the 5th and final day of the trial that would see both the Attorney General's office and Montgomery's attorneys give closing arguments. The state walked the court through all 6 counts, telling the judge each count warrants removal on its own. The state saying good faith effort is not enough. Montgomery is expected to know the law. The voters didn't elect him to be in federal custody. And later, time and time again, he refused to do his job, refused to follow the law. There is nothing left for this city but to oust this man and have a sheriff to do their duties. Retired Judge David Mason handled closing arguments for Montgomery, saying the state has not proven that Montgomery can't do the job while he's in federal custody. Mason at one point saying charge first, investigate later. They have failed to show the proof. Mason attacked witness credibility and downplayed the severity of allegations against Montgomery. How confident are you that the judge is going to deny this quo warranto?
I have to admit, my confidence is high.
First Alert 4 investigates caught up with Montgomery's lead attorney moments after closing arguments ended. Mason says if the judge looks at just the evidence, there is not enough for removal.
It took a bit longer to deal with what the state said than I anticipated, but I think I effectively dealt with the substance of their arguments.
Montgomery's defense team says what happened in the past week bodes well for the federal case.
We have evidence now. We have under oath testimony, and if they testify inconsistently in a federal courtroom in front of a jury, what they said in this courtroom will come up and it will be used against them.
With this being a bench trial, Judge Omer gets the final decision as far as the fate of Montgomery staying on as sheriff. We don't know how soon that will be. He says he'll be timely, but it could be next week, next month, maybe even next year. Now, in the meantime, what's happening with Sheriff Alfred Montgomery? He's going back to the Perry County, Illinois jail where he's in federal custody because of his federal case where he faces multiple felony charges. We've covered this sheriff's turmoil extensively. You can find all that coverage inside your First Alert 4 News app. In downtown, David Amilati, First Alert 4 investigates.